Yeah, it is another episode of the Autumn Windbags. RJ, Clifford, Juan Soto. Let's have some fun today. Again, another week off. Apologies. We are.
Don't apologize to these dudes. They ain't paying for this.
Beg your forgiveness. I thrust myself onto the slab of your redeeming hate.
Won't be the first time.
Is there anything we can do to redeem ourselves?
Give you more free content? Sweet, let's do it.
Please let us know. I will go to my grave pained by the 63 minutes of amazing Raiders discussion you didn't get last week. But we're back now, so make up for it. Let's make this show twice as good as normal, so it all balances out.
You mean we have to try?
I mean,
let's not go crazy. Right? Let's not go crazy. Let's not go that crazy here. We can try a little bit.
I mean, just like the Raiders, we've been trying the same thing over and over and over again. Maybe like spice things up a little bit, you know? Something a little different.
All right.
Try something wild and crazy.
We can try.
Because it's been 2 weeks, it's always kind of fun to circle back. What's the deal with Pete Carroll? And this has been the theme forever with the Raiders, or not forever, this whole season, where it just feels like everyone's rowing in a different direction. Spytek's like, okay, we got to refresh this roster, playing for later. Chip Kelly's like, I want to do this exact scheme. Pete Carroll's like, I want to win now, and I want to do it my way. And Patrick Graham's like, I have this defense that, you know, I get the most out of my personnel. Pete's like, no, I want it done this way. And everyone's kind of going in different directions. And then against Jacksonville, two games ago, it kind of felt like he was starting to get it. Porter started. Couple other little things, but then the rookie wide receivers got 0 snaps. And then against Denver this last Thursday, Betch and Thornton got snaps. Porter started again, which was all good, but Kappa got the start. Lockett was like the most targeted receiver. It's like you can never like. Did Kappa start?
No, JPJ started and got hurt.
Oh, that's right. But like, it's never like, okay, this is where the ship is sailing. It's never like, oh, we're all on board. Okay, we tried to win this season. It's not happening. Let's focus on next season. It's still always just kind of like the sails are pointed this way, but the wind's blowing that way, and the oars are going this way. It's 1 foot in, 1 foot out with every decision, and it's key. And it's no one's rowing in the same direction.
The issues that we're seeing is there's a way to for everyone to get what they want, but you have to come together to a consensus. There's a way to do it. There was a way for us with the cap that we had to upgrade some offensive line positions. There was a way to do it because there's guys out there that can help you in a short term. We just didn't do it. Now, the reason you don't do it, now, let's just be honest. We had an awful offensive line last year, okay? I think we all know that. And our offensive line is not that much better, if not worse, this year. So you're saying that you have one of the worst offensive lines, the worst, I mean, statistically, run blocking offensive line, and you're not doing anything to improve it this next season. Okay, so you draft a couple of guys. Conventional wisdom would say, okay, you're going to play the young guys. Well, you don't. So there's already one like crossing of ideas right there. If you're going to draft young guys and add them to an offensive line that isn't very good, you should at least see what they have. The only reason that they're active is because of injury. That's the only reason that they're active. If not, they would have been inactive the entire season for Will Putnam and Alex Kappa. That's ridiculous, okay? And we were talking before we started here, you can get Geno Smith, and I've said it from the beginning. Geno Smith is a guy that can produce very well for you if you do two things. If you protect him and if you have a good running game. Both of those can be implemented with one thing, solidifying the offensive line. And you didn't do that. So not only are you not developing your young players, you're not helping your run game. You're not protecting your quarterback, which makes him much less effective.
Mm-hmm.
So these aren't things that are like revelations where I'm not just the smartest man in the world or anything like that. This is like common sense shit. And the failure on each one of those levels has gotten us to where we are.
It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. And Pete Carroll is, old enough where he could be geriatric. Just because he can run circles around us doesn't mean he's still not set in his ways a little bit. And it's taken him a while to get what this team is and what the goals are. And he's starting to get there. It shouldn't have taken this long, but at least we're seeing progress. Like, he let Patrick Graham run his scheme last game, and the defense played a lot better than it has been. Still not amazing.
That's not a guess. That's not a guess. I shared the video with you guys. Caillou Blue Kelly said on the post-game show, it was all PG. PG did this. PG did this. PG. It was all PG. It was no Pete Carroll meddling in it. And you didn't see any cover 3 zone either.
And so Pete Carroll's finally like Patrick Graham, who's gotten the most out of 3 seasons of terrible personnel on the defense, and got Robert Spillane paid, got Hobbs paid, Merrick paid, like part of that scheme, right? These guys, they all got paid, which is, I think, also why the Raiders let all those guys go, because they're like, yeah, you know what? Patrick Graham put these guys in a really good situation to succeed. Like Spillane's having a good season, but no one else is like, I would say, worth the money that they're getting paid. I mean, they're not hacks. They're solid players that deserve to be in the NFL and starters, but I don't think any of them's worth the money that they're getting paid, because it was Patrick Graham putting him in a good position. It took Pete Carroll more than half a season to realize what we've all kind of known about Patrick Graham. He's a really damn good defensive coordinator, right? You give him chicken shit, he'll make chicken salad.
I don't understand the Patrick Graham hate.
He won't make you prime rib, but he'll make you a chicken salad that you could eat for lunch and enjoy,
Yeah, he's still getting hate. I honestly, and clip this because I've said a few things that people were like, you didn't say that. When you asked me, when it was free agency, when you asked me, who's the guy that we should go get? I said, Sam Darnold. He's the guy we should sign in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And people were like, you never said that. I'm like, bro, I said it on 2 different shows. I said that. But clip this.
I think we both said. Did we both say that? I think we both wanted. Yes. I think we both wanted Darnold.
We both did. Yeah. Patrick Graham, I believe, should be the next head coach of the Raiders. Whenever that comes about, I think Patrick Graham has earned his spot to be able to be given a chance to be the head coach of this team. I said it.
I have no evidence for this other than it kind of feels like that might be the plan. Patrick Graham took.
I think we said that from the very beginning too. Like, he's the guy that, because that's what Pete does. Most of his coordinators go on to be head coaches.
Yeah.
So he grooms guys up, and Pete's not going to be here forever. He's going to be here for 3 years, maybe, and then he's gone.
I think that serves multiple purposes, because I think Patrick Graham, obviously extremely intelligent, obviously knows defense. You won't find any player talk shit about him. Like it took Will Compton all of 45 minutes to talk shit about how bad Gunther was. Like that was an obvious one, right? Like,
and he liked him too. He liked Gunther, and he still talked to Cage.
He's like, yeah, dude, I can't 30 third down schemes per game. Like, okay. But I think it served a couple things. I think it's to try to keep Patrick Graham, because he took some interviews. He wasn't going to get a head coaching gig last year, even though I think he took 1 or 2 interviews, maybe. Like, I think he just kind of got Rooney rolled, just kind of ran through the 3-ring circus that is the Rooney rule. I don't think anyone seriously was considering him for a head coach, but I think he's respected enough where people are like, I want to talk to him. Let's get him in the
rave reviews when he was in the Senior Bowl. He got rave reviews for that.
Let's get him in the building, pick his brain, and meet the guy. So I think that was part of it. So to keep him in the building and not bail for a contender that needs a defensive coordinator, like, okay, like, Raiders are another losing season. Why would a good coach stay here other than crazy overpaid like Chip Kelly, or stick here, Patrick Graham? I think there's a place for you as head coach. And I talked about it on when I did Steve Cofield's show this week. I was like, good head coaching candidates, why would they go to the Raiders? Like, the last 3 head coaches, no one else wanted him. Pete Carroll got interviewed. No one talked to him for 2 weeks. Raiders couldn't get Ben Johnson or anyone else we wanted, so we got Pete. No one else was going to take him. Antonio Pierce, of course no one's going to take him. Interim coach, it's like the only possible gig. And Josh McDaniels' agent had the greatest swindle in the history of NFL head coaching when he convinced Mark Davis that fucking Mick Shit was a highly sought after. People are busting down the door to hire Josh McDaniels as head coach and paid him all this money. Like,
bust him in his motherfucking head.
Like, head coaches, why would you come? Why would you come to Las Vegas? It's like, why? Like, and I think that's why, like, hey, like Patrick Graham, we're not going to get the next great super blue chip stud, but if we have someone homegrown, we can keep him. So I think Patrick Graham, at least groomed as the next head coach, served many purposes.
Mm-hmm. For sure, man. He's a guy that already is respected by the team. He knows the personnel and how to use them. He understands kind of like the ins and outs of just the front office. He understands how to work with them. And there's a high level of trust there. You don't have to build any trust with these guys. And even new guys coming in, they're going to be told and by the guys that are already there, like, yeah, this is the dude. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And
I get it. Like,
intelligent guy, man. It just makes sense. That's why they probably won't do it.
And I get it. People are like, the Raiders defenses sucked. Why in the world would we want to keep Patrick Graham? It's like, true. But look at the can of ham and eggers that have been, other than one of the tape don't lie guys got a question that he shared, and he was like, outside of Maxx Crosby, who on the Raiders defense would start on any other team in the AFC West?
Good question. Not many.
Chin maybe on the
Chin's good.
Chargers, maybe on the Chargers. Chin. I mean,
Chin's good. Adam Butler could probably start for a few teams.
Not the Chiefs, not the Broncos. They're stacked there. Who are the tackles for the chart? Like, even like our second and third best players. Again, the AFC West is loaded. So
it's like Joseph Day and another dude.
But to my point, like, you really got to squint and strain and be like, who's actually decent on our defense and where are they terrible somewhere else? Like, that's how bad the personnel is on D. Atrocious. And yet Patrick Graham held Denver to 10. And those 10 points are off of what? Like a block and a bad field position. Like, he's making something out of nothing. And it's really the only thing that's been like at least consistently outplaying its personnel anywhere. Offense, atrocious. Special teams just fired his ass. Personnel, drafts, like, the only thing that's been like, okay, it's not good because everything else is dragging it down, but Patrick Graham's tenure has been the only thing where it's like, okay, he's raised what we've had up a little bit, which is all you want out of a coach. That's all. That's at the end of the day, all a coach's job is take what you have and make them play as good as possible. That's whether it's through scheme or motivation or filming practices, deflating balls, whatever the fuck, right? That's the whole goal, right? Take what you have and make them play as good as possible. And that's been and Patrick Graham's defense has been the only thing that's been doing that.
So Bill Parcells had a saying. He had a conversation with his GM, and they were talking about corners because they needed a corner. He said, okay, corners, I need them to be this tall, arms this long, run this fast, jump this high. This is what I need. And if you don't bring me this, he better walk on water. And there's a reason for that. Because you have a scheme, you have a system that you need to plug these players into. Now, good coaches are going to adjust their scheme for a special player, but you could only adjust your scheme so much to when it stops being your scheme and it starts to being something new altogether, right? Which is not what you're the best at because it's not your scheme. That's what happened to Patrick Graham. Patrick Graham was forced to run something that he doesn't run. Mostly cover three and then some cover two. But that's what he was playing mostly throughout the entire season. That's not what he does. And when you get long, fast, tall corners, what do you want to do? You want to put pressure on the quarterback and play tight man so you don't leave any lanes. What happened this year when you were playing that soft zone? We could still get pressure on the quarterback, but then you leave guys wide open that we're not running up and tackling very well. And that's why you get burned a lot. So They switched that, and they played a lot tighter this last game. And, there's been one game this year and then a half of a season a couple of years ago where Patrick Graham was just given fair reign. Like, here, just do what you want to do with this defense. And that's when they played their best. So when are we going to figure out, just let Patrick Graham do his thing? What we're doing with Chip Kelly, we should be doing with Patrick Graham. Like, Patrick Graham, just take this defense and do what you can with it. It's all yours. And, we may be a lot better off. But it's just, again, we're moving in a bunch of different directions. Pete's comfortable doing a certain thing on defense. He wants to have his hands involved. Whenever his hands are involved in something, it hasn't been turning out very well. He needs to be that CEO guy. Hands and stuff and butt stuff. Because, look, his hands are in the offensive line because his son is the offensive line coach. That hasn't been going very well either. Mm-hmm. So he needs to just step away and let the coaches coach and him be that master motivator, and you get the guys bought in and get the guys moving in the same direction, and let his coaches coach and be there to develop them as far as how they communicate, how they prepare, things like that, things to make the coaches better coaches. But for right now, I mean, he can only blame himself for what happened to the defense, because the 1 week that they didn't do what Pete Carroll defense normally does was the time that they played their best.
And on top of that, like we talk about all the time, it's not like Patrick Graham's been able to get some consistency in personnel. It's like, hey, I really kind of want this type of guy, because it's been a different fucking GM every season he's been there pretty much, right? So he's literally just taking like chop suey. He's just getting whatever random ingredients are falling off of the kitchen counter, and he's making a decent meal out of it, right? Like, he's, again, it's not a good defense, because it can't possibly be with just one good player in Maxx Crosby, but he can hold the number one team in the division to 10.
Let me check. What's going on here? Where are these guys? Defensive rankings.
It's still not great.
I think they're like the middle of the pack. They're like 18 or 19 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's like, depending on what you're looking at, it's like 20 something.
No, I look at points against. Points allowed. Let's see here. 15th, right in the middle. Smack dab in the middle. 220 points allowed. Same as the Steelers and the Jags.
Mm-hmm. What's yards per game?
Well, that's kind of difficult because some teams. Well, it only shows yards here. It doesn't show yards per game.
Yards per game. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't show yards per game. But we haven't even given up 3,000 yards.
It's a matter of, I think, Pete. And again, this is why I don't want to get rid. Like, we're talking a lot of shit about Pete Carroll, and there's all for good reason. We stand by everything we're saying. I know I am not. I don't think you are either, Soto, saying get rid of him after this season, get rid of him now. I don't think that's where we're going. It's just taken Pete a really long time to say, okay, hands off Patrick Graham. Let Patrick Graham cook. Need something different going on with special teams. Chip needs some direction, whether through Brady or me or something. Compete needs to be throughout the entire team. You can't just cherry pick people that are against it, that immune to that philosophy just because of how you are. Like, Geno Smith is clearly just trying to get Tyler Lockett paid. What the fuck is that? You're just trying to get what did we talk about before? Of the three things NFL players care about, number one is their money. Number two is their boys' money. And whatever number three is, it's
far behind.
Light year behind
those two.
Right? Championships, legacy, winning, getting chicks, whatever that number three is, it's way behind their money and their boys' money. And right now, Geno's like, I got my money guaranteed. Let's get Tyler Lockett. So let's get Tyler Lockett paid. That's what it just feels like Geno's doing. So it's like, okay, Pete, I understand every coach brings in their guys. That by itself isn't a bad thing, but you need to corral them. They need to be here and not just be a teacher's pet that gets to do what they want. You're here and you're the same with everybody, right? Like, when I worked for my dad, He was so deathly afraid that we would get like special treatment. He was just like, RJ, you're working graveyard shift in the boiler room by yourself. Like you're not like the worst possible job you could have at Ventura Transfer Company. I got
With
it.
the rats.
He didn't want anyone to think like, oh, you know, boss's kid's here, you know, just going to kick his legs up in the air conditioned office doing what I want. Like that's what Pete Carroll needs to be doing. Not saying, oh yeah, you know, compete. Everyone's going to earn their job other than Geno.
Yeah, you can't tell me because look, it's not good either way. Because if you draft guys in the top 3 rounds, well, you know, Dante Thornton was in the early 4th round, but if you draft guys that high and they're not even dressing sometimes, or they're not getting any targets, that's either a bad job of drafting because they're not ready to play. They're not ready to contribute. That's bad discovery and bad drafting. Mm-hmm. Or if it's past the middle of the season, they're not ready to contribute, then that's bad development. So either way, it's bad. Either way you look at it. Because if we don't see Caleb Rogers on the field, how bad is he if he can't beat out Alex Kappa and Will fucking Putnam? How bad is he? And if he can't, either he's that bad or we're that bad at identifying and grading these guys, or who's better or who isn't, or we're that bad at developing them. It's going to tell us a lot who's starting. It's going to tell us a lot.
Whoever we think or they think is going to get the most playing time next season should be the one with the most reps. Simple as that. Who do we think it's going to be? And maybe you don't know, so you play certain guys and other guys, and you try to figure that out, right? Like, I'm sure some of the 1-year deal guys we have, they may want to re-sign. There's no way like all 30 of them just like, you know, go to the wayside, maybe, right? Most of them are playing that bad. But it's like, okay, do we think Eichenberg can get some reps? Do we think it's, Dante Thornton, is he a 2-3 year project? Is he a 1-year project? Let's get him some reps and find out. Like, it should all be who is going to be playing the most next season should be getting the reps. This isn't tanking. Definitely not tanking. Because the guys they're replacing aren't good. It took half of a fucking season for Porter to get serious reps when Aqib Kelly was the starter. Bottom 5 starting cornerback in the league. You can make a case he was the worst. He gave up the most individual yards. You can make a case he was the worst starting cornerback in the league. And it took half a fucking season for your 3rd round corner, who's better in the very, very little bit we saw of him in the first half of the season, for him to get those reps. Like, these are obvious choices. It's not like we've got, it's not like there's some like rookie we're begging to take reps over Maxx Crosby. It's guys that are better over 1-year rentals who suck.
Let's go a step further here, okay? You cut Jack Jones because he wasn't good in man coverage, and then you run exclusively zone for half the season. Mm-hmm. Doesn't make sense, right? And then you put a player who is better in man than he is in zone, and you play zone and keep Aqib Kelly and keep throwing him out there. It doesn't make sense. That's the problem that I have. There seems to be no plan. There's no continuity. It seems completely disjointed. It seems completely scattered. There's no plan moving forward. Listen to me, guys. If we don't see Caleb Rogers start, there's a big problem, because what happens the first 12 to 15 plays? They're scripted. Caleb Rogers can nail down those 12 to 15 plays. That's when you want to have your young players in there who are seeing if you can start. You don't want to throw them in there when it's like, oh, well, we don't know, we can call anything. You want to have those guys in there for those 12 to 15 plays. They can get comfortable with those 12 to 15 plays, with those 12 to 15 assignments. We've seen what the defense does, how they maneuver. I know what to do in each one of these plays. That's when you have your young guys in there to see what they can do. Unless you go 3 and out because your guy's getting whipped like crazy. Okay, maybe let's try him again in a second. If it happens twice, 2 seasons in a row, you take him out. But that's the guy you want to have in there early, because they can really nail down that script, that 12 to 15 play script. It's just This stuff is not rocket science. And the fact that we have to listen to Pete Carroll, Joe Biden his way through these fucking press conferences, and we get freaking we get Chip Kelly is like, I'm gonna get political. I'm not gonna do that. But Chip Kelly looks like somebody else that we know that may sound like liar is in part of her name, just straight lying to our face about things. It's just terrible to watch. I watch every one of these press conferences and I'm looking back and I'm like, that's not true. That's not true. That's a lie. That's an out and out lie. That is a play on words, and that is just a complete bold-faced lie. And we're getting lied to every single week during the press conferences, and we're getting lied to in the games by how this team is being coached, how they're being sent out there, and what the plays are being called, and how they're performing. We're just being lied to all around.
I was just thinking how hilarious. I didn't mean to keep smirking during your beautiful monologue, but I was like, how hilarious would it be if Chip Kelly goes up to the podium next week? He's just like, release the Epstein files. This is ridiculous.
If Chip Kelly goes up there and he's wearing a freaking pantsuit, I'm like, come on, man.
If you want to distract from what a terrible job you're doing, go Epstein.
If she's dressed like a Suge Knight, you know who I'm talking about, because she dressed like Suge Knight the entire way. If he comes out there dressed like that, that's going to be if you're paying attention to what they're saying and what they've been saying throughout the year, they're not even trying to hide it anymore. Because one of my favorite things this last press conference of Pete was they're like, hey, with JPJ going on IR and this and that, and Caleb Rogers going to get a shot. Like, oh, well, everyone's going to get it. We're going to open it up for competition and this and that. So he kind of like blew it off. And then I forgot who it was, but somebody else asked finally a follow-up question. This is okay. I know you have a lot of boys, and Adam Hill's my boy. I like him a lot. But the lack of follow-up questions is staggering, because they'll just sit there and be lied to and be like, all right, you got to take that. So someone asked, okay, well, what do you like about Caleb Rogers? Asked the follow-up questions like, oh, and then he said, oh, he's a hard player. He's really motivated. He's athletic. Dude, just nonsense. And I'm like, there's no chance that dude's playing.
Well, to your point, Adam Butler made some comments this week that today, recording this Wednesday, that kind of got everybody talking a little bit.
Season didn't go the way that a lot of these players would want, but to a fan's perspective, it's different for a player, obviously, right? And this is y'all's job, this is your career, right? What's the mentality right now? 2-7, but keeping your head up and continue to march forward.
For me personally, the mentality is the same. Just do my job. It's very frustrating. Sometimes I can't lie. When the other side isn't delivering the way you think that they should deliver, it's sometimes frustrating when we don't deliver how we should deliver. But with everything stated, everybody can see what's going on. We know what's going on, and the only thing we can do is do our job. So I just focus on doing my job and focusing on helping the team win. That's why I try to make big plays and try to make sure that I'm disruptive.
Awesome. All right, thank you. And of course, the first half of the season didn't go the way.
First off, how about the dreads over one shoulder?
That's very living single.
It is. Look at that. It's coming back, dude. All fashion comes back. Looking sharp, Adam. My biggest thing, obviously, the thing that went viral from that conversation was, I know what's going on. We all know what's going on. And there's a lot of talk about and again,
even if you don't know what's going on, you know that there is something going on. There's something that's not above board here.
And I also took it as this too. These guys aren't idiots, right? They're not stupid people.
They've been around.
They've great college careers, great high school careers. They know football. They talk to people. They know this is a punt year. This is a developmental rebuilding year. They know that. It's clearly obvious. It's painfully obvious that this season, this team is going nowhere. Develop, get better, draft as high as possible, right? They know that. This whole idea of Pete Carroll's just like, oh, we got to squeeze every last win we can. We got to just like, it's like pick up a 32-year-old wide receiver that I know that the worst team in football let go and bring him over. It's like Jack Betch is probably might be better than Tyler Lockett. If he's slightly worse, it's a million times smarter just to let him play. Like, you don't need, like, these aren't babies. These football players where you have to be like, see, I'm squeezing every little bit of ounce I can to try to get one more win this season. It's like, no, they all know what's going on. The season's lost. They're also going to play. They're all still playing for their jobs, right? All these one-year deals, they got to put on good performance. So they go to a good place. All the people under contract, they got to play better to earn a starting role in a big contract down the line. Like, they're not just all just going to lay. There's not a single player on this roster other than AJ Cole and Maxx Crosby, who aren't under like hardcore rookie deals, or they're not going anywhere, where they can be like, I want out, I'm going to lay down. No one else has a resume where they can do that. Jacoby Myers is the only guy, and he gone.
Well, so Jacoby Myers was the only guy that did it, but he didn't have the resume to do it. That's why he stuck around. They're like, shut up, sit down, and play.
He was the closest thing, and he went for, and I like the deal that we got out of it, right? A fourth and a sixth.
Nice deal. 4 and 6.
But it's like, yeah, like these guys, like, even if they're just purely selfishly motivated and say, fuck this team, I don't care anymore, they're still going to play their balls off.
Good tape out there, yeah.
They still want to put good tape out there for the next guy. So it's like, again, Pete Carroll, what is this facade that we're going to, again, you're still coaching to win every game. You're still trying to win every game. You're still trying to get the most out of every player, right? You're still game planning like it's the Super Bowl. You're practicing like you're going to the playoffs. You still keep those good habits and those good reps. You still do all of that stuff. But you do it with guys that are going to contribute next season, not 30-something-year-old one-year dudes that you have on a rental that still fucking suck.
This is what you get when you ignore young players early in the season. You don't have to give them a ton of targets. You don't have to give them a ton to do. Give them a couple of things to do that they can really nail down, but do that every single week. Get them to do that more often than not. Even when Jack Betch early in the year was active, he wasn't targeted. And then, Dante Thornton was targeted quite a bit early in the year, and then he was having his struggles, and then they just said, screw it, we're not going to throw to him. Mm-hmm. And this is like Brock Bowers wasn't either he wasn't 100% or he wasn't playing at all. It wasn't like there wasn't an opportunity to mix in the young players. This is what you get when you don't plan ahead, when you're in scramble mode for right now. That's what's happening right now. Is now when you're forced to have your young players play a bigger role and they haven't even played a smaller role, it's like, this is what you get. You get drop passes, you get penalties. That's what you get. This coaching staff deserves what they've gotten right now because they're not doing what they need to do to develop these young players. Practice is one thing. If they're good enough to be active, they're good enough to be used. And they weren't being used. So this is what you get. This is where we are. Now we have to, because Tyler Lockett, yeah, he's a veteran and blah, 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 and this and that, all this other junk. But he's been here for what, a week and a half? Maybe 2 weeks? He doesn't know everything, right? He doesn't have everything down. Chip Kelly, Geno Smith is having to tell Tyler Lockett what to do in Seattle Seahawk language. That's how little Tyler Lockett knows of this offensive scheme.
He has to speak in grunge.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. Like, again, it doesn't make sense. From what I've known of Pete Carroll, and I've been following his career from USC to Seattle, this has not been his MO. His MO has been, I'm going to play young players early in the year. I'm going to give them a little bit to do. I'm going to build them up. He didn't do any of that. None of it. Maybe it's because a lot of those guys were on offense and he doesn't have control of the offense. I don't know. But ultimately, it's your job to make sure that what you want to get done gets done. How many weeks did we hear Pete Carroll mumble through we got to run the ball, and then he just didn't do it? How many weeks? It's like almost every single week. And then we get this nonsense from Chip Kelly. Well, he's still leading the rookies in carries. You don't draft a running back number 6 overall and compare him to the other rookies that weren't as good as him. You're drafting a running back number 6
because you think
he's one of the best.
Like, and half the rookie running backs have missed big chunks of the season because of injury.
Yeah, it's like you draft him at 6 because you think he's one of the top guys in the league. So you compare him to those guys. He was the last time I checked, he was 12th in the league in targets or in touches.
Second highest paid running back in football.
It doesn't make sense. And that is the frustrating part, I think, to a lot of people in Raider Nation, is this stuff is like, what are we doing? What are we doing? People are pulling in different directions, and it's just, it's a huge mess. It's a huge mess.
So I was asked this question last week, I believe, when the Jets, it was right at the end of free agency, and the Jets made those crazy moves, right? Got all these first round picks and stuff. And I was asked, so RJ, are you kind of pissed? Are you drooling over all these picks that the Jets got for moving on from Sauce Gardner, other really good established players? And I was like, no, not even a little bit. 0%. Because this is what separates the Raiders from not every other franchise in the NFL, but a pretty decent number of franchises. If we were the Eagles or the Chiefs or the Rams or the Colts or these other well-run organizations that have consistently, they've had bad years and off years and bad coaches and bad quarterbacks, but pretty consistently been ran pretty well. Good ownership, good GM, good head coach. Usually they get the most out of their quarterback. Seattle, all these franchises, I'd say kind of. Maybe I would actually want to trade one good player to maybe get 2.5 other good players. But we aren't those franchises. The Raiders require elite, walk on water. No matter how much terrible shit's going around them, they still produce. And that's Maxx Crosby. He's the only functioning thing on the defense. Maxx Crosby, Brock Bowers, we'll throw AJ Cole in there. That's who the Raiders need, are elite guys that when all this shit that doesn't make sense, an offense that's disjointed, a defense with no personnel, and Pete's pulling one direction, Patrick Graham's pulling one direction, and Brock still delivers, and Max still delivers. That's what we need, are the very, very special individuals that can cut through the bullshit and still produce. And that's what Maxx Crosby is. We cannot, because maybe we get, let's say we get 3 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby. Right? Let's go crazy. Just for sake of our argument, right? How many first-round picks do we get that you put 3 of them together are still Max? Brock, and then who else? Guys just aren't producing. You can't, other franchises, it makes sense to move on from superstars because you can get 2.5 other superstars because superstars just grow well in that environment. Maxx Crosby is a fucking oak growing out of dirt and sand where nothing should be able to grow. And Max is still leading the league in tackles for loss in most seasons. That's the difference with the Raiders. And that's why Soto, it was so frustrating watching Josh Jacobs go away, watching all these great players walk, because it's they flourish under the worst circumstances. Under the worst circumstances, they still flourish. We got to hang on to these guys.
Yeah, and that's the problem when you just flip regimes every year. That's the problem. That's what you get. That's what you get. Because a lot of these players that were on this defense last season, even if they got paid a little bit of money, not all of them would have walked if Tom Telesco was in the building. Mm-hmm. Because he helped bring he's already had some experience with these guys. And that's another thing about Patrick Graham. He spent years building up this defense, and then when they came up for contract, they all left. They weren't retained. So he's building up a defense for everyone to just leave. Now I understand that it wasn't the best defense, but still, you need some continuity. So when you have this turnover every single season, well, yeah, but he sucks and he sucks. Yeah, nobody was going to do good in this system. Maybe they would have done better than 2 wins so far, but not anywhere where we can really hang our hat on. this season at least. But you have to be able to build moving forward. As long as you have, I use this analogy. You're in the middle of a desert, right? And it's any distance from you is equal distance to get to safety. And you pick a direction and you start going. So you walk for 5 days in a direction. And then after 5 days, like, you know what? I'm going to try this direction instead. You just fucked yourself. And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to do a different direction in another 5 days. And you start walking back the same direction you walked 5 days initially. You're just going to keep wandering around that desert until maybe you luck out and you hit pay dirt. But if you pick a direction, even if it's not the best direction, if you pick a direction and stick to it, you're going to have some continuity. So when you do change and the next guy comes, he has more of a foundation to work with. Every single time you change regimes and you have a bad team, the team gets worse. When we went to the playoffs, change the regime, team got a little bit worse. Change the regime again, team got a little bit worse. Change the regime again, team got a little bit. It just happens. You got to pick a direction and move forward.
I can't believe we're having this conversation. One, because 3 years ago it would sound crazy to have this conversation, but also two, it took us a long time to have this conversation. Does Daniel Carlson suck?
Yes.
He's been not good for a couple seasons now, but I was just so impressed with him for how he was phenomenal at All-Pro year and before that and the year after that. I was like, oh, great kicker. Say la vie. Don't have to think about it. Don't worry about it.
He's been average the last 2 years. Average the last 2 years. And this year he's just bad.
You know his field goal percentage is 75%. That's 33rd in the league. Last time I checked, there were 32 teams in the league. 33rd in the league. He's the 11th highest paid kicker in football. This is a contract year. His contract's up this year. He's already done with like the guaranteed money. This is like the fourth year option.
Happy trails.
You want compete? They better bring in a fucking army of kickers in here. And he better destroy all of them if he comes back next season.
Yeah, they already brought in 2 this year, and they signed 1 to the practice squad.
It is no longer like, oh, Carlson's great. Don't worry about it. Oh, no. No.
AJ Cole is still that.
He is. He might be even better, dude. It might be even his bet. Shane Leckler is made the next cut for the Hall of Fame, right? Like I just keep thinking, like in this terrible regime, we're gonna get another Hall of Fame punter. I don't know just how bad Shane Leckler and Seabass with those terrible like mid 2000s, late 2010, or early 2010 years. Like the offense was so bad it turned Shane Leckler into a Hall of Fame punter.
Got plenty of time to freaking show what
this regime, if it keeps up, it's going to turn AJ Cole into a Hall of Fame punter. The Raiders are going to have 3 Hall of Fame punters. Dude, just how bad the offense has been, and how good the punting.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, Carlson.
Some more continuity.
Yeah, Carlson, you're gone unless there is a drastic change. Like they better throw in, like I said, an army of kickers to try to beat him out, and he better either turn his act around or. Thank you for your service. You were a fantastic kicker for your time. Your time has passed. See you at the reunion. Order the chicken. I'm still infatuated with this John Madden movie. Like every little thing that comes out, I can't get enough of it. I had no clue till I was watching Monday Night Football that Shane Gillis is in it. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I
had no idea. And I'm not really like a fan of individuals, really. Like I don't nerd out over guys, but like I fucking can't get enough Shane Gillis. Like my Instagram algorithm, it's all just huge tits on chicks, Raider stuff, and Shane Gillis stand up. Like I think he's just hilarious and everywhere he wasn't that funny on Monday. I don't know if you watched the ManningCast on Monday, but wasn't that great. But I learned
I work nights, so
yeah. But I learned that he's in the movie.
So Shane, you have an upcoming movie about football legend John Madden, and Madden is being played by Oscar winner Nick Cage. So Shane, give us a scoop. What's old Nick Cage's John Madden look like?
Oh, it was awesome. He's wearing like a fat suit the whole time, and he killed it. And he not like a, you know what I mean, he needed to bulk up. And Christian Bale plays Al Davis, and it's like it's crazy how good he is. Yeah. And he stayed in the Al Davis accent the entire time, like off camera.
Oh, really?
It was pretty crazy.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. I mean, he would like,
You in
he
the
didn't
movie?
stay. He didn't. I am in the movie. Yeah. Yeah. And we had to address the fact that I look a lot like John Madden throughout the movie.
So they're like full on character acting this movie, like staying in like in the look. I can't fucking wait.
God, they better not. This movie better not suck, dude. I was so disappointed in the Smashing Machine.
Yeah. Smashing Machine sucked. Napoleon sucked.
God, Napoleon was bad.
So bad, dude. Like, how do you pick that up?
Dude, how can you make the Smashing Machine a bad movie? The story is great.
And like
a psycho freaking girlfriend, you're a drug addict, freaking hulked out freaking fighter. Like, dude, how can you have a bad movie with this?
And half the movie is a frame by frame remake of the incredible documentary it's based on. And
the documentary was way better.
Still kind of fucked it up. The Rock's not good. I'm sorry. I've said, like, people love The Rock. And it's like, okay, I get, like, I'm not a pro wrestling guy. All of his movies are terrible. His movies are all terrible. I respect the shit of him because he's like the hardest working man in Hollywood, and I appreciate that.
And everyone says that he's a good guy, like a legitimately like a good dude.
He just outworked everybody, and now he's like the biggest movie star in Hollywood, which I appreciate. Like, it's like a world class figure skater,
fencer.
Like the amount of work it takes to be a world champion figure skater, like, man, that is hats off. I appreciate that. I don't want to watch you do it, but I respect the shit out of you for like that accomplishment. That's me with The Rock. It's like, hell yeah, man. You're like the most famous, at worst, the second most famous wrestler of all time behind Hulk Hogan. You're the highest paid movie star in Hollywood right now. Everyone loves you. Like, that's fuck yeah, man. Like, I would try to be more like you. I don't want to watch you do it because none of it's entertaining, but I appreciate that. Like, that's awesome. That was the Smashing Machine. It was just not good. It made $6 million on the opening weekend.
Here, the part that got me was they focused so much on The Rock's acting and not enough on the smashing.
Yeah.
Like the exciting parts. I don't know, man. Maybe I just expected too much.
If you missed it, you didn't miss much. But so I guess I did some deep research on Shane Gillis in the Mad movie. So they literally just invented he doesn't play anyone. He doesn't play like a historical character. They're just like, oh, we want Shane Gillis in the movie. Let's just make up a character. So he's just like a made up buddy of John Madden, just so he can be in it and just like be Shane
John
Gillis.
Madden didn't really talk to a lot of people, dude.
That's why they had to invent a best friend. Because it's like we just had to like invent somebody for Shane Gillis to play the role.
That's funny.
Anyway, every little tiny thing I hear about this movie, I get more and more excited for it.
You're more and more geeked.
So primetime Monday Night Football. Cowboys at Raiders. Cowboys 3.5-point favorites. We're coming off like a mini bye, right? The Thursday night to the Monday. So like, oh, this is great. We'll have an advantage. Nope. Cowboys are coming off their actual bye. So even when we do have like a tiny advantage, we lose it. The Cowboys are the shitty team that you wish the Raiders were because they're at least fun. They're not good, but they're fun. The offense is 4th in points per game, almost 30. A defense is atrocious, giving up almost 31 points per game. If it weren't for the Bengals being just a turnstile, every player on that defense, that they'd have the worst defense in football. If you're gonna suck, at least be like a kamikaze fun suck instead of the Raiders, where it's just like the defense is just good enough to keep you in the game, and the offense can't do shit.
Yeah, that's like the opposite. You want to have like your defense can be bad, and your offense goes out there and scores points.
Puts up 32 and you still lose. Like if that's gonna happen. Like, yeah, the Bengals or us versus the Jags.
Yeah, it's just since they've last played, they have a new player up front who is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine, oh my God, dude. Imagine Quinn Williams going up against Will Putnam, Jordan Meredith, and Alex Kappa. He's gonna, oh God, it's gonna be a sack record. He'll get 8 sacks.
I mean, okay, so there's like some, like obviously Micah Parsons isn't there anymore, which is a huge deal. There's a couple individuals, and the Cowboys actually kind of get decent pressure in the pass rush. But if our O-line can't move these guys, they're not going to be able to move anybody. Even this, like, our 2 best O-line are on IR, and the sack of shit O-line that we have. If they get pushed around in the run game against the Cowboys, there's nobody that the Raiders can move. If we can't run the ball against the Cowboys, we're not playing the Bengals. There's no one else the Raiders can run against if we can't run against the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good situation for us moving forward. I mean, we're playing some good teams coming up. And we'll see, man. We'll see what the development is, because you can still be playing for the future, but put out a good product. You can still are you just holding these guys back? Are you holding these guys back? Like, it's not a surprise that you don't go out there and get extra points because nobody knew that these guys were good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have this girl. Her name is Gigi. She's freaking awesome. She's 11, and she has a world title in MMA. She went to Abu Dhabi and did this kids tournament, beat like 4 chicks from around the world. And she had her first Muay Thai fight, just Muay Thai, on Sunday, and she won. And everyone's like, dude, where have you been hiding her? Like, oh, she's so good. This and that. Like, well, she's a world champion in MMA. Oh, okay. It's like, you don't get extra points for having a guy stashed on the bench for next season.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, just play them and develop them. And we'll see, man. We'll see what the development looks like, because it's just not – right now I don't have a lot of confidence.
It's the best game this season to play all the young
offensive guys, for sure.
For sure. Not even a question. Like, this is –
You're going to play them against the Browns or against the Giants, those defensive lines? I don't think so.
You've got a little mini bye, right? It was a Thursday game into a Monday night game, so you've got 4 extra days to kind of get them ready, get them set. Their defensive front's atrocious. Nothing to play for, right? Pressure's off, Like the so in July we made a list of all questions we had in July for all 17 games. The one for the Cowboys: can all that youth handle the bright lights of primetime? We were so young and naive in July. Will the youth even get to prime time? Or will Pete Carroll be like, nope, I have these 1-year rentals of 31-year-olds that I really got to see what they got? Like, can we at least get the youth to see what the lights of prime time are like? Call me crazy?
Look, then you talk about those multiple layers. You have who's active and who's not, Pete Carroll, who's getting snaps and who isn't, which is Chip Kelly, and who's getting targets and who's not, which is Geno Smith. If all these guys are having different ideas of what they want to get done, it just doesn't. Again, I don't want to say the same thing over and over again. It just doesn't.
So I only watch on Monday nights. I watch the ManningCast only when the game is kind of like not that important or like a blowout or something, because then it's kind of more entertaining. When it's like a game I really like, when it's the Raiders or a divisional opponent or just a really, really good game, I watch the regular broadcast because I want to focus on the game. How long, if the Raiders Raider on Monday, do I switch to the ManningCast? Because the game is so terrible that I need to be entertained by Eli and Peyton throwing dad jokes at each other.
You'll know in the like a quarter of the way through the second quarter.
Because
Like
almost
like
all of our
the
terrible
first-
games,
the first drive after the first drive of the second quarter, you'll know.
because we put together like 2 good drives pretty consistently to start games, whether the game's good or bad. Like we've almost always done like 2 good drives, and then it just everything, like if it falls off, it just all falls off.
Yeah, I would say to be safe, the middle of the second quarter, depending on who has the ball. But yeah, you'll know before halftime.
That's the witching hour, middle of this, right there. It's like, okay, can I actually just stomach an actual Raiders football game, or do I have to watch some fucking random celebrity as a show on ABC talk about a show?
Yeah, during the Broncos game, I was watching that Amazon like next gen, whatever they call it, that view, which is great.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and then their offense was just so bad. I'm like, I don't even want to see this anymore. I just turned to the regular view. I'm like, I don't want to see all the stuff that they're missing.
The computer just short circuits because the offense is so bad. It's like doesn't compute. It's like that episode of Family Guy when they break into Mr. Peterschmidt's mansion and they have to go through all those layers of security. And one of them is this computer voice. It's like, insert penile password code. So you have to like put your dick in there, just like let it know it's you. And Quagmire's like, I got it. Puts it in there and it opens. And Peter's like, oh my God, you had the same penis as Mr. Peterschmidt? He's like, no, I just shoved my junk in there and broke it. That's what Chip Kelly's offense does to the next gen stats. It just put the offense in there and just stops working.
Indeed.
Laugh. That was kind of funny.
No, I gave you a huh.
Okay. I earned it.
I gave you a huh.
Whatever. Let's do some what up windbags and end this shit.
All right.
Lil Sean, 5864. I don't know why Soto reminds me of Charlie from Smiling Friends. I'd never even heard of Charlie.
Charlie has a huge nose and no facial hair. I got a nice nose on me, but
no. I don't know if I see it, Lil Sean. You have to explain that one a little bit.
I'm gonna tell my chick and she's gonna beat your ass.
That one kind of looks like you. Pissed off. God damn it. Is that a funny show? I never even heard of it.
I mean, I know it because of the young kids in my life.
Sam Demand, thank you so much for being a member. Much appreciated. I get being patient with the head coach for continuity, but it has to be the right one. Pete ain't it. He's worse than McDumbass and AP. 2 more years of Pete will be 2 more years of 12 plus losses. How's that for continuity? Soto.
That's an opinion. There's no fact in that. And Sam is the man. He's awesome. But you're saying that he's worse because of we're going through the season right now. You can't go by record too much because I would argue that Josh McDaniels was worse because he had full control over the offense and of the head coaching.
He took over a playoff team.
Yeah.
It had a starting franchise quarterback. It had an all-pro running back. It traded for an all-pro wide receiver. The defense didn't have stars but it was a capable, he took over a quality playoff team.
His players told Mark Davis to fire him. That's not better than Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
And Pete Carroll isn't making the in-game decision mistakes that AP did over and over and over again. He just has a terrible roster and a coaching staff that has a different agenda than he does.
In fairness to Sam Demand, statistically, yes, right? Third down percentage, yards, points per game, special teams especially. In fairness, yes, Pete is doing worse than AP statistically. But to Soto's point, the in-game strategy, it's the things getting pulled in different directions. Once things are pulled, it's taking him forever to get there, but he's getting there. Starting younger players, letting PG cook, a couple other things. He's starting to kind of get it a little bit, which AP never. There's no improvement at all. There's nothing. He just kept hiring more assistant coaches and never. Now that Pete's doing a good job, and he might be gone next season, and he might be worse off. You could, Sam. If If he gets even worse and he's cut halfway through next season, come back on here and say, I told you so. Certainly possible. But at least there's things going on with Pete that we never saw at AP or JMD.
Yeah, man. I tell people, I think you're the same way, RJ. I would rather you hate me for who I am than love me for who I'm not. And I would always rather lose something doing things my way than doing it a way that I don't agree with and getting maybe not even getting better results, but getting maybe looked at better because of it. And that was AP. Just I don't understand it. Again, it doesn't make sense to go in there and hire a bunch of guys. Yeah, if let's say the owner or the GM says, we need to give you some help. Yeah, just don't listen to them. They're hired. They're on the staff. Okay, you don't have to listen to them. You still do what you want.
Lie to strippers. Don't lie to us.
Yeah.
Solomon
you don't lie to me. You lie to girls.
Who's that from?
That's a great movie.
We've said that line like 10 times on this show. If you don't know the movie by now, go watch it. Solomon Mitchell, again, thank you for being a member. Appreciate you. We honestly have only seen our offense at its best for 3 quarters all season. Let's see how we're looking. This was last week, how we're looking against the Jags. I think it will help the whole team having Brock back because their defense shouldn't be on the field as much. It's pathetic that one player has that much effect on our team. You want to know the time of possession? Jags and Raiders. How much is supposed to change? 49 minutes, 57 seconds, Jags, 26-47 Raiders. Defense was still just on that. And that's the other part too. The defense is terrible personnel-wise, and it's on the field for 42 minutes a game.
Take a look at how we are in the second half. We get worn down. The time of possession, and we just get worn down. I mean, they ran the ball almost exclusively. They had like 20 yards rushing the first half and like 130 in the second half or something like that, because they're just wearing the defense down. And it's a shame, man. It's a shame. It's if you just look at the numbers from the surface, like a lot of like sportscasters will do, they don't watch the games. They just read what they're told to read. Most of these people are just looking at surface stats. If you don't look at the stuff underneath that, then you're going to miss a lot.
Aqib Talib analysis.
Dude, he is so
for how
bad.
much? Maxx Crosby's to blame. I didn't even bother putting it in there because it was like Max's retort was just like, you don't know what you're talking about. Aqib is obviously just talking out of his ass. It's like, okay. I didn't even put it in.
Richie Incognito wanted to beat his ass, and he could have. Richie Incognito could have beaten every single button in that fucking studio.
He could have torn Aqib Talib's limbs out individually and then beat his head in with his
appendages.
All right, that's it for us. We'll be back next week. I will be overseas, brand new country. I don't know what the internet situation is like, but come hell or high water.
Where are you going?
Doha, Qatar.
Oh, Jesus. You're not going to get internet there.
I'll strap a satellite onto a camel and ride out on top of a pyramid if I have to. Are there pyramids in Qatar? I have no idea.
Isn't it really hot over there right now?
It's actually super nice. The high is like 83 and the low is like 70. It's actually really, really nice. Like I guess like
it's Vegas weather.
Yeah, if you're all looking to visit a random Middle Eastern country, mid-November is the time to go to Doha, Qatar. I've
heard Qatar.
I've heard Qatar too, but it's gone by Qatar because I feel like it's one of those things where it's like saying it wrong is what everyone calls it. Qatar. So when you say it correctly, Qatar, everyone's like, where?
Like Wednesday.
Qatar. How's it supposed to be said?
Well, it's not W-E-N, it's W-E-D.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah.
Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. Until then, knock on wood if you're with me. Well, look at you making it to the end of this video. You look like you want more. Go ahead and click the next video, and if you really love it, go ahead and subscribe.